The video that you're going to watch here today includes the recording of a live performance, a DJ show that I played recently in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. Now, the main point of this video is not just to capture that performance. A bigger part of it was because I've got the series of YouTube tutorials that a lot of people have been watching, teaching people how to use Ableton Live for live DJing performances. Okay, so if you haven't seen those tutorials and you want to check them out, I'm putting a link here below on the screen right now. Bookmark it, come back to it later if you want. But basically, anyone who's been following that series has a pretty good idea of what I do to prep for shows, and so I wanted to take this opportunity to record a single specific live show, kind of a behind the scenes look at the prep that I did to get set up for the show, and then of course the show itself. So, without saying any more, let's go back in time and start looking at some of the footage that I shot when I was first starting to get ready for the show. Hey, my name's Jonathan Clark, also known as DJ Bolivia, and welcome to another DJ related tutorial video, I guess. The purpose of this video, basically what I'm going to do is I'm playing a show at a place in Halifax, Nova Scotia, in eastern Canada. Playing there in a couple days, a club called Reflections, and I'm going to try and film the whole thing. And the point of this, there's basically 2 points to this. I haven't done a video in a while because I've been out doing reforestation work all summer. Anyway, I wanted to do this for 2 reasons. First of all, it's a good opportunity because there's a lot of you that follow this channel because you want to learn more about DJing. So it's a good opportunity for me to talk about a show kind of from the start to the finish, like from when I start preparing for it, maybe a week in advance, right through that whole process up to the point of setting up in the club, playing the show. So it'll kind of give you an overall idea of what's involved in a sample show. The other reason I wanted to do this video is also because I'm trying to migrate up to higher quality footage, to 4K, ultra high definition footage. So I picked up a couple of cameras. These are just, the ones I'm playing with right now are just a couple of GoPro Hero 4s. So not the best possible cameras. I will be using some other better 4K cameras shortly, but I wanted to test the capabilities of the GoPros. And I know that a lot of you are not going to be able to watch these videos in 4K footage because you probably don't have broadband connections that are fast enough for that, or you may possibly have computers that are not fast enough to handle that much of a data stream anyway. But you know, if you're trying to watch it at a high data rate and you're having problems with jerky video or something on YouTube, just scale it back, go to high def or regular high def, or even something slower, you know, same as you would for any other video. But at least this is kind of a step towards future-proofing these videos so that, you know, 5-10 years from now, when half the population out there can actually watch these videos in 4K instead of probably, I bet you 1% of people can actually watch them in 4K now probably. But anyway, in a few years, a lot more people will be able to see them in 4K, and it'll be nice to have that quality in place in the future. So we'll test the cameras out with this video. We'll go through the sample steps of what's involved in a typical show. So let's get started. I'm just going to try and describe some of this stuff. So basically, first thing first, getting the music. And I typically like to play different music every single show that I play. If you're DJing regularly in a top 40 environment, that's not going to be possible because a lot of those popular pop songs you're going to have to be playing again and again, week after week. But I play not as many shows. You know, I only play a dozen shows a year in a typical year, I would say, because I'm pretty busy with a lot of other stuff. So DJing's, you know, a fun hobby, a fun side job, but certainly not full-time for me. So I do try to get new music for every single show. Now, what I did in the last couple days, I want to have mostly fresh new music if possible. If you're playing that kind of electronic music, this is a perfect venue. Okay, so let me tell you, first of all, I'll just take a moment, tell you about Reflections, the club that I'm going to be playing in. It's in Halifax. It's a pretty small club. I don't know what the capacity is, but maybe 400, 600 people. One of Halifax's bigger clubs, but certainly not as big as a lot of clubs around the world. But it's one of my favorite places to play. And the people that go there are very much into electronic music, unlike a lot of other clubs in Canada where it's more, mainstream pop, that sort of stuff, or hip hop. So it's a very receptive crowd. It's the sort of crowd where they're not coming up and making requests like you would get in a top 40 club. This is a crowd where they trust the DJs and they just love to hear whatever. And a lot of people know their music quite well. So that's another reason why it's nice to, instead of playing a whole bunch of tracks that are pretty old, I like to have a lot of new stuff. So typically for a show like this, I won't even start looking for music until a week before the show. And I will go online and I'll buy stuff that's been released, in the week before the show, basically. So a lot of people will not have heard most of these tracks unless it's maybe a remix of something that has been released in the past. So that's the environment I was going for, that I'll be playing in. And I'm assuming that if you're watching this now on YouTube, obviously the whole thing must have worked. So, at this point, at the point I'm filming it, I'm not even positive I'm going to be able to record this yet, but we'll give it a shot. So basically what I've done in the last couple days, I went to Beatport, which is a great source for music, and I downloaded actually about 100 tech house tracks. Obviously it takes a while to go through because you don't just indiscriminately buy whatever. So I would say that for every 20 tracks that I preview, I'll buy one track. And so what I do is I go into the tech house section or the techno section sometimes too, and I'll set it up so it's only displaying new releases, and I'll go through all the new releases from the last couple days. So I did that, spent a day basically looking for music, and found about 100 tracks that I liked. So I downloaded all of those, and then I took some time to prep them all. So I went through Ableton and I put the warp markers in them all and basically listened to them a couple times, whatnot. So you may wonder, why would I buy 100 songs? Because if I'm playing a normal set, I'm only going to play a couple dozen songs. Well, it's because I figured I was going to filter them more afterwards, and also it's sort of the same sort of style that I use in my weekly radio show. So for this particular show, it was good because I knew that any tracks that I don't play in the show, I'm going to use in my radio show. The stuff I don't play at Reflections, I'll play in my radio show. So after I had them all downloaded, picked out, downloaded, had them all warped, made sure they were all set up, useful, ready to use, listened to them all a few times, and then I started sorting them out. And so after I sorted them all, I got rid of about 75, and I put those aside for my radio show. And then I had about 25 tracks that I liked that I wanted to keep. And so that wasn't quite enough because I'm playing for 2 hours. So what I did was, after that, I thought for a minute, and I was going to go back on Beatport and do some more looking, but I thought, I'll pick some songs. I'll feed in a few that are slightly older tracks. So I looked through stuff that I've had from the last year, and I think I added another 9 tracks to the, or 10 tracks maybe, to the couple dozen that I had already. Okay? So after that, I let it sit for a day, and then I went through, listened to them all again, and I basically categorized, I had 35 tracks I think, and I categorized them into 4 different groups, and I also color-coded them. Okay, and so you can see them on the screen, and basically the ones that I color-coded blue are ones that I may not play in the set. I may play in the set, it's hard to say. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things are going as the set progresses. There's a lot of them that I've colored yellow or green, and those will be the ones that I'll be playing in the first half of the set, mostly. And then I've got a handful that I've colored orange, and the orange ones have more of a housey feel to them instead of a tech house feel to them. And finally, there's a handful that I colored pink, which are kind of tech house again, similar to the yellows and greens, but they're a little bit more high energy. They're the ones that I would probably play at the most energetic point of my set. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what order I'm gonna play any of these songs in, but because I have these groupings, it's good because I kind of have a rough sense of how I'm gonna play them. Now there is one DJ playing after me, and I don't DJ SOS from Toronto, and I don't know exactly what style he's gonna play in this show. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna go through my groups of music, sort of like the yellow and green are gonna be the first part of my set for almost definitely. But then the house group, I'm not sure if I'll save those ones for the very end of my set to transition into his stuff, or if I'll maybe put the house tracks in the middle of my set and then go back to the other tech house tracks at the end. Yeah, we'll see. We'll play that by ear. But anyway, by grouping these things, it makes things a little bit easier. Like, I don't want to plan out my set perfectly, but it's nice to have some consistency in energy levels and stuff like that. So I've got with the color coding, I've got a pretty rough guide on what's going on. So that's where we stand right now, and I'm just gonna leave it right now. We'll come back to filming here and maybe tomorrow. And then I'll set up a little bit more. I'll set up the actual DJing template. Right now it's basically just a couple columns on the screen. I just have it set up to do the warping and stuff right now. One thing I am a little bit concerned about is the video quality for the show itself. I don't think the GoPros on this setting, the 4K setting, I don't think they're great in low light. So I'm not expecting miracles here with the video footage from Reflections itself. But hopefully what's going to happen is the next section here, we'll set up the DJ template for the night, then we'll do another filming as we're setting up the gear, and then hopefully we'll film the entire show, plus a screen capture, and so you'll be able to watch the entire set from start to finish at the end of this video, hopefully. Okay, that's it for the moment. Okay, so we are getting close to the show now, and a lot of things have kind of come into focus. I'm ready. Okay, so basically, the first thing I've learned is these GoPro cameras, huge, wide field of view. I didn't realize it looks like the camera was far away from me in that earlier video, but actually it was only about 5 feet away. This camera's like pretty close to me right now. Interesting. Anyway, on to the DJing. The set, I have the set basically set up the way I want it in Ableton now, and so we're going to run through. I'm going to show you some stuff on the screen and explain exactly why I've got everything set up the way I do. One thing I've learned, well, I've decided I'm definitely going to take my Zone 4D mixer with me to play at the show. The equipment they have there, they've got a Pioneer mixer, and they've got a couple turntables and a couple CD players. I will take all my music on a couple of USB keys and have them in the CD players, just as a backup in case something goes wrong during my set that I can quickly flip over and just start playing on CDs. Always good to have a backup plan, especially when you're working with computers and controllers and stuff like that. Now, having said that, I had some problems with the Zone mixer earlier. I got it all set up. The drivers were all in and everything, and it was playing properly. And when I was trying to assign MIDI keys and stuff like that, I was getting absolutely nothing. And that's because it was not recognizing it as a MIDI device, only as an audio device. So let me show you in the software what I mean. When I went into Options, Preferences, Audio, okay, my driver type, ASIO driver, audio device, zone, 4D, output configuration. Because I'm using all 4 channels on the zone, I had to highlight so all of these are yellow. Okay, so right now my zone is set up as an audio device, and if I play something, it's going to go through the mixer and out to my speakers. But I initially had problems because when I went to use the MIDI, the device was not showing up down here. And of course, as a control surface, it's not in this drop-down list. This stuff up here is more for like keyboards and stuff like this. But the MIDI ports, this is the inputs and outputs. Now, you can see that I've got input, zone, 4D, MIDI, and I've got 3 switches here, and output, zone, okay? So you have to know, you know, the computer and the mixer can talk back and forth to each other. So if you're uncertain about anything, you want to be absolutely safe, turn all 6 of these items on, okay? But for if you know a little bit more about MIDI, you don't have to have those necessarily turned all on. So you've got to think about input or output. We've got signal coming from the mixer to the laptop. Okay, we are not, in this particular instance, I'm not going to be sending any signals from the laptop to the mixer. Timing signals, anything like that. So I want information flowing in one direction, and so the point of view that you take is the point of view of the laptop, because this is an Ableton preference, okay? So Ableton is looking to input information from the mixer. So all this output stuff I don't actually need turned on, and then the sync button I don't need actually turned on. So in my case, these 2 will work, but you know, if you want to be sure, highlight everything just to make sure stuff works. So now I should be working. Now, with my setup, I wanted to spread everything out into 4 tracks. I also wanted to be able to bring in some loops and stuff. So you can see that I've set up all these audio loops. I've got these 14 different tech loops, and if you were to look at them, each one of them is a loop that's exactly 16 bars long. Let's play one. Okay, so that's just, and you can see down here I've got it set up on loop, so it's just going to repeat over and over again. And I'm going to be spreading these in throughout the set as background, filler sort of stuff in between tracks and behind tracks, and you know, sometimes as loud as tracks. You may wonder, well, why if I get them on track 2, wouldn't it make more sense to have them all on the left side or all on the right side? Yes, actually it would. But something I've just discovered, I need to get my mixer tuned up a little bit. The channel 2, the fader is dirty, and so sometimes when I'm bringing it up and down, 1/2 of that stereo channel is cutting out, so I'm losing my left side quite often. And you know, if you're playing to a club and all of a sudden half of your signal goes out just as you're moving the fader around gently, that's not good. Especially, I mean, some clubs have their sound set up as a mono system, but hopefully most of them have stereo. And so what I figure is, if a full song is playing and I lose my left side, it's going to sound a lot more noticeable because it's going to be the full tracks that are going to be at full volume most of the time, and I'm just using these loops more as filler. So I figure if I'm going to have something cut out half of a channel, my left side, I want it to be on the loops. So that's why I've got them all on channel 2. Okay, now, so what have I done? I've got all my tracks, and they're in no particular order, simply because I've already color-coded them, as I mentioned earlier. They're actually in alphabetical order, just because that's the way I drag and drop them in. Now, each of these 4 tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have put 4 effects on them. So Shift Tab, and you can see them. It's going to be the same 4 effects on each of the 4 channels. Okay, so I've got a ping pong, and if you watch here, I've got a control on the mixer. Let me think about this. Okay, so the ping pong is over here, dry wet, and maybe what I'll do is I will. Okay, let's try to make this make the most sense to you. I have a ping pong delay, which is kind of a delay effect. I have a reverb effect. I have a flanger, and I have a filter, and it is a high cut filter or a low pass filter, depending how you want to call it. Okay, so let me pick up the camera for a second and show you the controls on the mixer, how I've got it set up. And to make this easier, I'm going to put my music up just a little bit, okay? So for the mixer, basically I've got channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And for those channels, these 4 faders, are going to be my reverb. So channel 1 reverb, 2 reverb, 3 reverb, 4 reverb. These 4 knobs are going to be my flangers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These 4 knobs are my my low pass filter, my auto filter, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these 4 faders are my ping pong delay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll see that these, and these are all at their lowest settings, off. So basically they're at a dry setting, no wet. These 4 are kind of at their highest value, and that's because this is a high pass. So let's explain this one first. So channel 2, so let's use the auto filter. Let's turn it up a little bit better so you can hear that better. Okay, and to show it on the screen, okay, that did not show at all. Oh, that's why. I was not highlighting the right channel. Okay, now you can see how my auto filter works. And so basically that's why it has to be at the high setting, fully on, because fully on means basically everything is still allowed to get through. Okay, reverb. Flanger. And ping pong delay. Okay, and it's neat because you can do some, if I can put the camera down here for a second, you can do some pretty slick stuff. I mean, I've got a very simple loop. Okay, not very graceful, but you get the picture. You get the picture. Okay, so let's go back to the actual. So again, with that particular effect, I'm going to move the lever on the reverb. So let's see what happens. The dry wet's going to go up. And the rest of these are set, quite a few of them are set to the default values of the effect when I've dropped it in, but some of them I've played with. Okay, so dry wet on my flanger knob for that channel. Where's my flanger? Here's the dry wet control right here, so you can see how that's controlled. And for my high pass, we've already illustrated that, but you're going to see it controls this thing. Basically my my frequency that it enables at. And then finally for the ping pong delay, way over here, controls the dry wet. Okay, So other than that, yeah, I've got 4 channels. I've got all these blue tracks. Remember how I said that I probably might not be playing them? I have temporarily set them up so that I have the loop indicators set so that the first 16 bars of each of these tracks highlighted blue is a loop, exactly 16 bars. You can see 1600, and I have looping turned on. So at any point during my set, basically I can create a loop with one of those tracks, just as I would have with one of these things. So there'll be times when I'm playing in my set when I've got, say, a track from here playing, a track from here playing. One of these blue ones is basically just playing a loop, and one of these loops is playing. So I may have all 4 channels playing quite frequently during my set. Of course, I may not have the volumes up to full on all 4 of them. If I did, that would be crazy busy. So that'd be a little much. Basically, I guess that's how I have this all set up. So next we'll go to the club. I will point out something. As I play, I'm going to try, after I've played each track, to go in and turn the color. All you do is right click on a track, go down. I'm going to try and turn it to white after I've played it. And that way it's, there's a lot of stuff happening when you're DJing because, light's flashing, it's loud, it's dark, you've got people talking to you, stuff like that. And it's not like sitting at home in your bedroom and being really organized and knowing what you've played. I frequently have no clue whether or not I've played a certain specific track. Occasionally I will play a track twice by mistake, not something you should strive for. So what I'm going to try to do is after I've played each track, I'll highlight it to white, and that way I will know I've already used that track in the set, and I'll know not to use it again. Although some of these tracks I do bring in and out sometimes during a set quite often, especially you get a track like Don't Call Me Baby. It's got a little bit of that really obvious vocal sample. That's kind of a classic house track, obviously not a brand new track, although this remix I think is quite new. So I may bring that part of that vocal sample in several times. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So let's pack the gear up and we'll go to the club. Okay, we're almost done. Now, one of the problems, I forgot to film the setup at the club. Okay, so that's one deficiency. So in just a couple more minutes, we're going to go straight into the set, and that's all you're going to get to see for the rest of the video. But I will describe what happened for a setup. Basically, we took my mixer, set it up, and the master out from my mixer went into a single channel in the club's mixer, and I played that way. Now the club's mixer, of course, was hooked up to the stuff the other DJs used, to the CD players, turntables, microphone, important. Something else to think about, when you record a show like this, when you record the audio feed, there are often quite a few different places you can put your recording device. Now, I could have had Ableton in the arrangement view. I could have clicked record there and recorded the whole set that way. And the drawback with that would be that I would not have gotten any of the effects that I was playing with on my own mixer. All I would have gotten was the basic background music. And because I was doing all my volumes and stuff on the mixer, and I had Ableton set at full volume for each of those things, it would not have sounded very good at all if I'd recorded in arrangement view. Now usually I will do that anyway, even if I'm not going to use that, because it's a quick, easy way for me to figure out my track listings from the set afterwards. Anyway, I forgot to do it this time, so it doesn't matter. There's two audio recordings of my set out there on the internet. The first one is the one that I did myself, and I stuck my recorder on the record outs from my mixer, which means that is before the signal went to the club's mixer where the microphone feed was mixed in with it. Okay, so my recording does not have any of the voiceovers captured on it. There is a second recording. Jeff from Baseline, he recorded the set also from the main mixer, So he's got the music signal, he's got the voiceovers, he also has an external mic on for crowd noise. So that's kind of cool. So you could probably find that. If you can find the baseline page on Facebook, you could probably download a copy of my set that way, which will sound slightly different than the one that I have on my own website. Okay. On that note, if you do want to download a copy, an audio copy, like an MP3 of this set, it's out there. Go to my website, which is djbolivia.ca, and go to the mixes page, and you'll see it there, live at Reflections 2014 11/21. And if you want to learn more about the whole process of setting Ableton up for DJing, because I kind of approached this video as if you kind of know a fair amount about Ableton anyway, so I was just pointing out what I was doing with this particular project. If you want to learn a whole lot more about the basics, about MIDI capabilities, I've got a whole bunch of proper tutorial videos. You can find them, go to Google and search Ableton Live DJ Performances Bolivia. You should be able to find the videos pretty quickly. Okay, I've got a couple series. I've got one for live performance DJing and one for like studio mixing, like creating podcasts and radio shows. The only other thing is I forgot to film the setup. Okay, so there's a couple different video views that you're going to see. I had two cameras going from the left and right above the DJ setup down on the gear. A little dark again, and so it's not perfect. You can't totally see what I'm doing, but it's reasonable, I guess. There's also my screen capture from Ableton, so anytime I'm doing something there, I'll zoom to that. I'll use my own audio recording as the background audio, so you'll be able to hear the music quite clearly. The only thing we kind of messed up is we didn't turn on the last camera that shows the crowd. We didn't turn that on until halfway through my set. So instead of being able to edit out to that camera, quite often when there's nothing else happening, I don't have that camera as a view for the first half of my set. So I haven't started editing yet. I'm about to do that. I don't know if I'll maybe just not use that camera at all for the first 45 minutes, or I might take pieces from later on and artificially inject them into the middle of the set. So if you see crowd shots in the first half of the set, they're actually not real time, but everything else is synchronized properly. The audio feed, the screen capture, and the left and right camera. Hopefully that all makes sense. Hope you enjoy it. The set's a little bit chaotic, pretty busy, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy it, and check out some of my other videos afterwards if you did like this one. Okay, thanks for watching. Let's get started.
about all your business, running wild in the street. And it took me a minute, but I think I'm ready to leave. Oh, I'm on your right now. Oh, I'm no use to me. Oh, you want to
Revolution 909. Revolution 909. Forever, baby. We just like roaches, never die, always living.